Once, not too long ago, lived 3 small cockroaches. Their names were Rusty, Dusty, and Little Krusty. They were the best of friends, yes, the very best. They lived in a tiny crack, near a farmer's house, you see. Every single morning they woke up feeling quite hungry. Their tummies would rumble and grumble, a rather sad sound. Food was not always easy for tiny roaches to find. They searched high and low, under leaf and behind stone. Rusty was brave, always ready for an adventure. Dusty was careful, always looking before he leaped. Krusty was quiet, often thinking deep thoughts. Together they hunted for tiny bits of forgotten food. A dropped seed here, a speck of sugar there, oh joy. But mostly their searches ended with just a sigh. The farmer's cat was quick, and the farmer's broom was wide. It was a hard life, a hungry life, for these 3 little friends. One sunny morning, the hunger was bigger than ever before. Rusty's antennae drooped low, a very sad sight. Dusty's little legs felt wobbly, weak from no food. Krusty sat still, his tiny brow furrowed in thought. "We must do something," Rusty declared with a squeak. "We cannot just sit here and wait for crumbs to appear." "But what can we do?" whispered Dusty, his voice small. "The world is so big and we are, oh, so very small." Krusty, who had been quiet, suddenly wiggled his feelers. "I have an idea," he said, his voice surprisingly clear. "The farmer has food, lots and lots of it, I'm sure. Perhaps if we ask very nicely, he might share some." Rusty and Dusty looked at Krusty with wide, round eyes. Go to the farmer? The big human? It was a scary thought. But their tummies rumbled again, a very loud reminder. So, they decided, yes, they would be brave, for food. The 3 little cockroaches, with hearts full of hope and fear, scurried across the floor, a tiny, determined line. They reached the farmer's kitchen, a land of giant things. The farmer sat at his table, sipping his morning tea. He was a big man with a kind face and gentle eyes. Rusty took a deep breath, then squeaked, "Mr. Farmer, sir?" The farmer looked down, surprised to hear such a small voice. He saw the 3 little roaches looking up at him so earnestly. "Well, hello there, little fellows," the farmer said with a smile. "We are very hungry, sir," Dusty piped up, feeling bolder now. "We wondered if you had any spare crumbs for us today." The farmer chuckled, a warm sound that filled the kitchen. "Hungry, are you? Well, I don't usually give handouts, no, but I do need some help around the farm, yes I do. I can offer you jobs, each with its own special reward." "Jobs?" The cockroaches looked at each other, quite perplexed. To Rusty, the farmer pointed towards the pantry door. "In there," he said, "are bags of sugar, sweet and white. Your job will be to keep the floor clean of any spills. As payment, you can eat all the spilled sugar you find." Rusty's eyes lit up like tiny stars in the night. All the sugar he could eat. It sounded like a dream. He imagined mountains of sweetness, a sugary paradise. This was surely the best job a cockroach could ever wish for. Then, the farmer turned his gaze to Dusty, the careful one. "For you, Dusty," he announced, gesturing to the barn outside. "Your job will be to keep the haystacks tidy and neat. In return, you can live in the warm hay, so cozy. And you may eat any fallen grains you happen to find." Dusty pictured soft hay, a warm bed and tasty grain. No more cold nights, no more searching for tiny seeds. This job sounded wonderful, safe, and very comfortable indeed. Finally, the farmer looked at Krusty, the quiet thinker. "And for you, little Krusty," the farmer said, his voice soft, "your job will be in my study, a quiet, book-filled room. You must simply sit still and keep me company while I read. For this, I will give you 1 tiny crumb of bread each day." "Just 1 crumb?" Rusty and Dusty exchanged a look. That sounded like a very poor reward for any job. Krusty tilted his head, his feelers twitching thoughtfully. Rusty couldn't wait. He quickly accepted the pantry job. "Thank you, Mr. Farmer," he chirped with great delight. "I will be the best sugar cleaner you have ever seen." He scurried off to the pantry, his heart full of sugary dreams. He thought he was so clever to get such a sweet deal. He imagined diving into piles of delicious white sugar. He would be rich in sweetness, never hungry again, he thought. He waved a quick goodbye to his friends, already tasting victory. Dusty, too, was very pleased with his offer from the farmer. "A warm bed and tasty grains sound perfect, sir," he said. He thanked the farmer kindly and hurried towards the big barn. He pictured himself nestled in soft, golden hay, safe and sound. He would have plenty to eat and a comfortable place to sleep. This was a smart choice, he believed, a very sensible life. He felt sorry for Krusty, who would only get 1 small crumb. He thought Krusty was making a rather foolish decision, really. Krusty watched his friends go, one to sugar, one to hay. He thought about the single crumb, so small, so very plain, but then he thought about the farmer's books, the stories. There was something about listening that felt quite special. "I will take the study job, Mr. Farmer," Krusty said quietly. The farmer smiled a knowing smile and nodded his head gently. Rusty and Dusty, if they had seen him, might have giggled. But Krusty felt a strange little flutter of excitement inside. So Rusty went to the pantry, a land of sugary white. At first it was wonderful, more sugar than he could eat. He ate and ate, day after day, until he felt quite full, but soon the sugar made him feel sticky and rather unwell. His legs got stuck, his antennae became caked with sweet dust. He felt sluggish and slow, not happy like he thought he'd be. The sweetness he craved so much had become a sticky trap. He missed his friends and the fresh air outside the pantry. Dusty settled in the barn among the stacks of hay. The hay was warm, just as the farmer had promised him, and there were grains to eat, scattered on the wooden floor. But the barn was also home to spiders with many legs, and sometimes the farmer's big boots would stomp too close. When winter came, the wind whistled through cracks in the walls. The hay became damp and cold, not so cozy anymore. Comfort was nice, but it didn't solve every single problem. Meanwhile, Krusty spent his days in the farmer's quiet study. He received his tiny crumb of bread each morning, as agreed. It was not much, but it was enough to keep his hunger away. The best part of his job was listening to the farmer read. The farmer read stories of faraway lands and clever animals. He read about the changing seasons, about sun and about rain. Krusty learned about stars, about plants, and about the wide world. His mind filled with wonder, with knowledge, and with new ideas. One day a great storm arrived, with wind and pouring rain. The pantry flooded, and Rusty's sugar all washed away. Poor Rusty. The barn roof sprung a leak and Dusty's hay became a soggy mess. Rusty and Dusty were cold, hungry, and very, very scared. They didn't know what to do or where to go for safety. They remembered Krusty, their quiet friend in the farmer's study. Perhaps he would know something. Perhaps he could offer help. They scurried to find him, hoping he was safe and sound. Krusty, using the wisdom he gained from the farmer's books, knew about safe, dry places high up, away from floods. He knew which plants were good to eat when other food was gone. He led his friends to a sheltered spot, dry and secure. Rusty and Dusty were amazed by Krusty's cleverness. They realized that listening and learning had made Krusty truly rich. The best choices are not always the ones with the biggest rewards. Wisdom, they learned, was the sweetest treasure of them all.